I'm no longer single. And his mouth is open.
CC was Living Well Naturally, LLC, and we're gonna do an abbreviated version of CPR in the park. So basically, I have 3 mannequins. I have an infant, I have a child, and I have an adult. We're gonna learn about the different techniques as it comes to CPR when administering that during an emergency. A lot of people go through life not really understanding that CPR is the most effective way to keep someone alive until EMS has arrived or until you could get them to a medical facility. And so recognizing the signs of when you should call for help or when you should administer CPR is very important. If you're not certified, then you should get certified. And if you ever need help, you can always look to organizations like the American Heart Association or the American Red Cross for the proper training. You could download apps like the American Red Cross app, which has a hospital locator inside, and it also has instructions on what you should do for each given emergency. So please, please, please do your part and download those apps and go get yourself trained and certified in these courses. Each course could cost you under $100, but I mean, what's the price of someone's life? So I would go ahead and invest in yourself. But before we get into it, I'm just going to talk about the differences of each mannequin. Is a different size. What does that mean? Well, each human being has a different size of lung. So for the infant, you would want to use, when you're giving CPR, you would want to use a puff, meaning what can fit in your cheeks. Because if you gave your full lung capacity, you would blow your infant's lung out, which could be dangerous during CPR. Also, when it comes to compression, you don't want to go more than 1.5 inches on an infant. For a child, the lung is a little bit bigger, but still small, still a little bit bigger than the infant. But as you can see, it's still a little bit smaller than a full adult. So, for a child that is 7 years and younger, or 8 years and younger, or under 55 pounds, you want to revert to going about 1.5 inches to about 2 inches deep as far as the depth when giving compressions, and I will show that. And also we have lights on the side that indicate if I'm doing it correctly. 2 green lights will show the proper depth and rate, meaning 100 to 120 beats per minute. Okay, if you see any orange, that means slow down, and if you see red, that's where you're supposed to be breathing. As far as the adult lung, with your adult lung, as you can see, it's a little bit bigger. When giving a breath, you want to give the whole capacity of your lung. Obviously, slow and steady wins the race. And for the depth, you want to go between 2 inches to, but no more than 2.4 inches down. For CPR with an adult or a child that's 8 years old or 55 pounds or more, you can do the interclasping method where the arms stay locked. I'll show you the legs in 1 second. So I'm gonna go ahead and you're gonna watch me put the lungs in. It's very simple. You would take the infant, pop it off at the top. You would take these lines and you would roll them up this way. So it's about 4 lines on here. I try to roll it maybe 5 times. Now, it's really important, if you notice, the head on this mannequin doesn't go back very far, and it's representative on the practical application of when you're doing CPR for an infant. The head is always neutral. So that's why these heads on the mannequins don't go back that far, because it's trying to remind you of that when you're doing the CPR, do not tilt the child's head back past neutral. The infant's child past neutral. So we're gonna button them back up, and now we're going to cut them on. And as you can see, the diaper lights up. It's flashing red because we're not breathing into him right now, and he has not received any compressions. And I'll also show you how to hook up the AED machine with the infant pads, but also the adult pads. The thing about AED usage is you can use an AED on all groups and ages, but if you use pediatric pads on an adult, it won't work. But you can use adult pads on all age groups. It's just about the placement of where you're putting the pads, okay? So now I'm gonna open the child up, place his lung inside. I'm gonna fold. As you can see, his head goes back a little bit more, because with the child, you're always going to go past neutral with a child. These pieces of plastic act as the lung, and that's what's going to be able to catch air, where you're going to be able to see the lung or the chest rising and falling. And that's what you have to pay attention to in real life, is the chest rising and falling. So let's go over some levels of responsiveness. Level of responsiveness is you want to look to see in a medical emergency, is the person breathing? Is the person's chest rising and falling? Are they moaning? Are they gasping or having agonal breaths? Which is not a real breath. It's just like a okay? These signs are definite signs that you need to obviously check to see on that person. But then you have to summon someone to call EMS, or you call EMS yourself by using your cell phone, and then obviously administer care if you're certified in order to do so. Now listen, if you learn this technique today, I'm not going to say don't save someone's life and use it, but I will say that, you know, this course comes along with an 8-hour, you know, some courses are 5 hours, 4 hours, some courses are 8 hours. So I would just say, don't just use deductive reasoning and say, okay, I've got this and that's just all there is. Really invest and know, so you can really truly understand what you're doing. I'm just really covering this just as a basic form of knowledge. But please enroll into a class so that you can know the ins and outs, what to do as things progress and get worse or better. Okay, so we're gonna start with the infant. See? All right. And with the AED, same thing as we showed with the 8-year-old here. Underneath that armpit, off to the side here. Okay? Always make sure that you cut on the machine first. The machine is always going to give you the instructions on what to do, no matter what model of AED that you have.
Patient's bare chest.
We apply them to the bare chest.
Plug in pads connector next to flashing light.
We're plugging in our pads connector.
Analyzing heart rhythm.
Clear!
Do not touch the patient.
Now, it's been a lot of fast forwarding, right? Because you didn't see the individuals give me the AED machine, but in real life, somebody should have gotten it to me.
Stay clear of patient.
Clear!
Deliver shock now. Press
Shock
the orange
delivered.
button
Clear.
now.
Shock being delivered.
Shock delivered. Begin CPR.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So if you saw my lights have flicker orange, that means I was going fast. 9, 30. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay? So for each group, remember 30 compressions to 2 breaths. Always remember, if the AED comes along, it has precedence over the human being. And so therefore you want to administer this as soon as you get your hands on it. And remember, don't forget to, when you recognize an emergency, have someone call 911, or you get your phone out your pocket and call 911 yourself. Because even if you still have to administer CPR, the paramedics or dispatcher on the phone will walk you through it. And don't forget, sign up for classes through the American Heart Association, the American Red Cross, and download that American Red mobile app, okay? The First Aid mobile app will definitely get you together, like I said, with a locator for hospitals or just basic principles on how to take care of an emergency. I would go ahead and show you how to do wound care as far as applying direct pressure, but it looks like we're out of time today because of the rain. But until next time, we'll have another episode. And don't forget, live well, be well, and may the universe adhere to all your desires.